All right, technically it looks like we are live on April 1st, 2014. All right. Now, we've got a lot of things to talk to you guys about today. Hopefully we can confirm that we are actually streaming. Mark? That's me. Okay, well, in lieu of confirming it, we will just hope that it's going on right now and answer some questions as well as going over promos once we make sure that it is confirmed going on.
Hey, are we live? Someone comment. Quickly, hurry up.
There's a delay, Mark, between Tim. Oh, maybe Tim's here. I don't know. Who knows? All right. This is Buscus. That sounds familiar. All right, Mark, let's confirm that we are live. Can you refresh that, please?
Cool.
Refresh
We
it?
should be live.
Okay.
We should be live.
All right, that looks like we're live. All right, well, once again, welcome to our live show on April 1st, 2014. We've got Bob the Axeman here, myself, as well as...
Mark. Just Mark.
Just Mark. Okay. All right, now, got a bunch of cool stuff to mention to you first off the bat. First of all, our flat rate shipping deal does end tomorrow. So if you want to get in on that, I would highly suggest taking advantage of that today or before the end of the day tomorrow. Now, what that means is I believe for the continental United States, you're going to have to pay $8.95 for flat rate shipping, which for a lot of goods is going to save you quite a bit of money. Now, for I believe Alaska, Canada, and Hawaii, that's going to be $11.95 for flat rate shipping. And again, depending on what you're ordering, that could be saving you a lot of money. Now, we are also doing our spring giveaway, which is going to go on until June 2nd. Now, what that means is that every time you purchase something on airsoftgi.com or gitactical.com, you will be given a code that you could put into a secondary website. Now, when you put that code in, you have a chance at winning something, and it could be something small, could be something big. You could not win anything at all, but the chances are, actually, I did have a list on my desk. There's some folks that won, obviously, a bunch of BBs. There's a gentleman who recently won a $150 sniper rifle. There was someone else who won, I believe it was a Condor Spec Ops plate carrier. So that's a plate carrier he didn't have before that he had because, I mean, shoot, he could have just bought a bag of BBs and possibly won that plate carrier. So anytime you make an order, you are going to get that code all the way up and through June 2nd. So take advantage of that. You know, you could game the system and try and place, one big order as a bunch of separate orders. You have that right. Or you could just place one big order, get a code, and put it in. You never know. Now, we also have a lot of really cool guns that are going to go out there. I believe, is it the RWA MG34 is on that list for the giveaway? I believe the ERG is on that list. So there's a lot of stuff you could win really randomly if you take advantage of that giveaway. Once again, going on through June 2nd on both airsoftgi.com and gitactical.com. Now, we do have an anniversary sale coming up on April 19th at GI Tactical. That's in Chesterfield, Virginia. I believe it's 100A North Providence Road, Chesterfield, Virginia, 23235. I think I got it. But yeah, that is going to be a year from the date that we opened up our GI Tactical store on the East Coast. It's going to be really awesome. We're going to have a lot of folks there. We are going to have, let's see, we're going to have booths from Z-Shot, Die, Polar Star, and Valken. We're going to have 21.5% off of select items in the store, which is a really big discount. And we're also going to be having goodie bags, and we've got a long item of raffle products that we're going to have from a variety of companies. So raffle items include products from G&G, Action Sports Games, also known as ASG, AIM Sports, True Spec, American Milsim, Blade Tech, Condor Outdoor, Die Precision, Jag Precision, LBX Tactical, NC Star, Palco Sports, Polar Star, Revision Eyewear, Save Face, Umrex / Elite Force Valken, and Z-Shot. So
Gonna be there.
Thank you. So there are going to be a lot of stuff raffled off, so make sure to just step over to the GI Tactical store on April 19th. That sale is going on from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., so a really good day excursion. Now, a lot of the staff at GI Tactical are really great folks. In fact, I'm sure you guys might recognize Jay or Ed as either Commander Chaos or Ed Gaddy of the British Reclamation Force. A lot of the staff there are great. We also have our cool tech there, GI Tactical Zach. Mason is also another really awesome gentleman. Generally, the entire staff at GI Tactical is pretty awesome, and they all play Airsoft, so that's another really cool thing to note.
Panda.
What?
Panda.
Akimbo Panda?
Maybe. Jonathan?
Oh, I don't know that guy's name.
Panda, Jonathan. He always wears Panda hat, GI Tactical, so can't miss him. And it's a Panda ID tag, so.
That would go with the name.
Yeah. There's a long story behind it, so if you ask him, he might tell you. So.
But we can't say on the live show, can we?
We can, but it might mix it up, and they might get mad at me if I say it wrong. So
Fair play. Fair
I'm
play.
just gonna let them do the talking.
All right, now Operation Reclamation 3 is still on the books for May 18th, and that's going to be on a Sunday at X Zone. This will be, as the name implies, the third iteration of our Operation Reclamation series, and I have just got confirmation that I will be going there along with another certain someone from the GI Marketing Department.
Not me.
Oh, buddy.
Well, maybe. I talked to Walter. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I will be out there as well as, I believe, Airsoft GI Dan, and it should be quite an event because this is going to be a turning point for either the American militia or the British Reclamation Force. Now, what's great about these games is that each outcome of each of these games, since it is a series, is going to affect the next game. So you guys are going to want to really fight hard on this game if you're either supporting the British Reclamation Force or the American militia. So if you guys are wanting to get your tickets, make sure to get them now because that is a problem we've always had for the Tim vs. Bob series, many of the other games we've had, as well as Operation Reclamation, is that folks that want to go sometimes will make their plans like hotel arrangements, rental car, guns and gear. They'll get all that stuff ready before they buy the ticket, and that is a big problem because sometimes we run out of game slots. And for this game, Operation Reclamation 3, there are going to be no walk-ons allowed. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So it is important if you want to go, you know you want to go, get your ticket now so that you aren't left out when the tickets sell out. I always feel bad for the people who like don't. I feel kind of bad because you know I want them to be there, but you know you got to make those arrangements ahead of time just in case. So, all right, next up we have East Coast shipping options available because of GITactical.com's location on the East Coast. We're able to offer you a much easier shipping option. So let's say you live somewhere on the East Coast or a few states away from the East Coast. You are going to be able to get stuff from GITactical.com a lot faster than you would as if you ordered from us here on the West Coast. I believe we have a list of states, a color-coded list of states based on how soon you can get your items. And a lot of places on the West Coast you can get it between 1 to 2 days. So if you know you need gear for that upcoming, like let's say, weekend operation, or you're just going out to play and you really need some new gear really fast, make sure to head over to GITactical.com because chances are you're probably going to get that before your weekend war, just in time to lead that charge.
You guys
go for it.
Tomorrow's last day to use the flat rate shipping. I'm not sure if we're going to get to that yet, but
that's the first thing I said, actually.
Okay, yeah. So GI Tactical, it still works on that website. So it's not just on airsoftgi.com. You can use flat rate on GI Tactical. So $8.95, and it'll get there, what, 2-3 days if you're on the East Coast?
Yeah, if you're on the East Coast, I believe the shipping time is between 1 to 3 days.
Pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, and what's really cool about the GITactical.com website is the fact that, that shows the currently available inventory from our East Coast store, GI Tactical, but it'll also tell you, if something you're looking for in GITactical.com is not there, it'll also say below it, available at airsoftgi.com. That means we have it in our West Coast store, as well as our West Coast inventory. So, if you want to get it in 1 to 3 days and it's just not at GI Tactical, but you still know you want it, click on that button or just head over to airsoftgi.com and check out our inventory and we'll get it out to you. Now, we also have our Save 14 coupon code for 14% off select items. That doesn't include map, obviously. But yes, that is still available for the foreseeable future, but no telling. Also, our Burst Wizard options on over, I believe, 300 plus guns on our website are still available. You can check that out. That's also in the tab on the actual product site. You can it'll say add Burst Wizard for $20 and $20. I know it's a pretty good deal considering that these Burst Wizards normally cost around $40. But if you get them with a gun, that is going to add burst functionality and
a bunch of the burst functionality. You can control rate of fire as well as the amount of electricity go through gun. It's a lot of features, but some features will include from direct drop and play to hardwiring to the gun. Hardwiring means you have to open the gearbox and solder it onto the contacts. Bob and slash, as I can tell, it's a lot of functions, forms. It does come with its manual, so it's like over what 13, more than 13, 14 functions plus additional combinations of other stuff. So $20, and we saw them in small Tamiya's, large Tamiya's, and Dean's. So whatever you have on your gun and whatever you have on whatever you're using on your gun with type connector, direct plug and play, and burst function on the field.
All right, I didn't really understand a lot of that, but essentially what we're getting at is that it allows you to add burst function, a wide variety of burst function, as well as reliability. And that's what I was hoping you were to go into, is that there are a lot of functions on this Burst Wizard that make your gun more reliable for the long term. So can you just tell them a little bit about that?
Okay, let me see if I can send that. basically is the burst wizard will allow you to prolong the trigger contacts inside the gun. In electronics, there's things known as sparking of wire, sparking electricity. So instead of consistent power output, instead of a jolt of power output from battery, it's much more consistent throughout the gun. So with that being said, your trigger contacts won't burn out as fast, and after every trigger pull, it's also much more consistent, and it just prolongs your battery, motor, and trigger contacts, as well as your wires. Wires do burn out sometimes. So last thing I want to mention is pretty cool feature is the pre-cocking feature. I know Ross likes this feature. Basically, it times your motor and gears so that it pulls the piston back all the way back, and as soon as you pull that trigger, boom, it's ready to go every single time. It's great for DMR and stuff. There's a bunch more features. Basically, you get longevity, performance, and fun for what, $20.
Also, essentially, what Mark was just mentioning, that improves your trigger response on an AEG. So essentially, for DMRs, it can be frustrating as opposed to gas bolt action sniper rifles. When you fire a gas bolt action sniper rifle, you pull the trigger, it's going to fire immediately. Whereas with a DMR that's an AEG, it's going to take like a quarter of a second to wind up and fire. But with this burst wizard, it cuts down on that time, so you get faster trigger response. And that's all the difference when you're trying to snipe or use a DMR. Now, quickly, we do have a shout out. That is Brown Bear. Hey, Airsoft GI, my 21st birthday is this Sunday. Can I get a shout out? Shout out approved.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Awesome.
But yeah.
Yeah. So take advantage of the Burst Wizard. It's a really cool setup, and they're available in over 300 plus guns on our website. Pretty awesome.
This is also great, not just for level 1s, by the way, before you too. It's also great for those who use 8.4, 9.6, 10.8, 12 volt, 14.8 volt, any different type, up to 22.2, I believe. That's what Mr. Kong told us. So, yeah, it's just drop and play. It's a really great system for $20.
Some might call it plug and play.
Plug and play it is.
All right, so we do have some other things to go over, and we don't have any more questions from right there, but we actually got some new products in that I know a lot of us here have been excited about. This is from a company called Patrol Incident Gear, otherwise known as PIG.
PIG? Yeah. I personally run Patrol Incident Gear magazine pouches in my Banshee. If you guys are wondering, well, how do I have 2 magazine pouches above my BAE clips? That's what's inside Patrol Incident Gear mag inserts for the Banshee or the small plate carrier. So, yeah.
Now, what's really interesting about these gloves, these are the Patrol Instant Gear or PIG Alpha Touch. Just show that right there. That's an upside-down PIG. PIG FTD Alpha Full Dexterity Tactical Glove. Now, what's cool about these is not only, oh man, these are really comfortable.
They are really comfortable, especially when shooting not just airsoft guns, L14, gas blowback, where you want to feel your rifle. And as well as it's great for those who shoot with a real firearm stuff. You can feel your rifle, you get better control, as well as you don't get that clunk feeling. So I'm not trying to describe it. You've shot more AR-15s and shotguns more than I have. So how would you describe the sensitivity that you would feel on your fingertips than having like a thick glove set?
Well, I mean, you definitely want to have as much dexterity as you can when you are firing an AR-15 or any other sort of firearm. So I mean, unless you're in cold weather, you shouldn't need extra thick gloves. But being able to have that sensitivity on your trigger finger is definitely really important when you are firing those guns. However, these guns in particular, these are we have 2 different versions. This is the Alpha Touch. We also have, I believe, the PIG just Alpha. And what's cool about this is that these were specifically designed so that you could use your smartphone while wearing the gloves. Now, a lot of folks might wonder, like, why would you take your smartphone out on the airsoft field or even a battlefield for that matter? Well, personally, I've had the option or the circumstance where I needed to do that. We were actually using a drone during one of our games, and I needed to use my smartphone to control it. So it was rather important that I actually had to take off my gloves, which took a little bit extra time. Was
like 5-6 seconds?
I know, but it was kind of annoying because I had to stow them somewhere, and that's actually the day I lost. Do you remember I used to have a left-handed glove from one side and the other? Yeah, that was
2 different colors.
Was the day.
Coincidentally, one's left-handed, one's right-handed.
Yeah,
so.
I kind of lucked out on that one. I left one glove in a porta potty and left the other glove on the field, so I wasn't getting either of those back. Anyway, these gloves are thank you. I wasn't going to recover it, but these are really cool. I mean, it's a really cool feature. They're very breathable, and once again, like Mark said, incredibly comfortable. Best part is like right there.
That's actually, I think they call it a nose wipe. Literally.
Oh, that makes sense.
It's literally when you're in the field, or if you want to wipe like just once up, that's what that's for. It's like a felt thing. It's not hard to show texture on this thing. But that,
It's
but yeah,
really
nose
comfortable.
wipe, yeah, really comfortable. Also, what's up? Do you have the other set here or no?
You know, we were supposed to have another set in. Oh yeah, Ranger Green. This is actually the Alpha Touch as well, but it's in Ranger Green.
Okay, so we have two different colors, which I want to put the Ranger Green now. But what the difference between this and the full dexterity are these. See it. If you notice, the stitching is a bit different. This allows you to be able to use your iPhone or any Android or touchscreen device much better, I say, over a standard full dexterity. You can still use it, but you'll still have to press harder. This is also better. You may think, oh, it's just extra stitching. No. What does, if you have like the OtterBox cases for your phone with a thick like screen protector over it, if you use a standard full dexterity pigs, you won't be able to use your phone as well unless you use one of these. So I really like these. I would personally maybe pick one up maybe this week, maybe. But I would want to get these as soon as possible. I mean, I talk on the phone a lot in the field too, so.
Yeah. I've used my phone for tactical phone calls when I couldn't find my buddy Gene. I was like, Gene, where are you? And he was like one building over. He's like, Bob, why are you calling me on my phone? I was like, I can't find you, Gene.
So those are helpful. So I really like those gloves.
Yeah.
They're comfortable.
All right, we're gonna go into a couple questions here. King N17 is, in your opinion, what is better, a BDU or a combat shirt? Mark, why don't you go first?
All right. So I personally think there's no such thing as a better choice over something. Each has its pros and cons. For a BDU, say it's a little bit cold outside, I would prefer that because there's more layers, it's more cotton, more material over your body, so it keeps you a little bit warmer. For combat shirts, warm weather as in Earthquake County, California, I would prefer to use that. Why? It's more breathable. But both serve its purpose, both display the type of camo you want, and some have Velcro patches. But that's my opinion.
I personally prefer BDUs just for the overall protection factor. Generally, the way I play Airsoft is I like to wear a lot of protection, including full face mask as well as gloves, so that when I do like making entry on buildings. I like going through doorways. It is really fun because if you go in and someone's there, you literally have like a second or two to maybe get them out before you are shot and returned. So I always find that that's really fun, and because of that, I do like having as much protection as possible. So I usually go for the full BDU. That's my personal preference. Also for the fact that, the combat shirts, this is a really nerdy thing to say, but for the combat shirts, if you want to make a ghillie suit later on after you've purchased it, you can't. You can with a combat shirt. It's just not going to be very comfortable because, the fibers as well as the glue they use to glue the netting onto the combat shirt is going to make it much more uncomfortable, scratchy, itchy just in the back wherever you glue it to. So that's why I like the BDUs. Let's go up a little bit.
Yeah. Combat shirts are great. I personally like to run around. Like I love running. So combat shirts help breathe.
Yes, no, it does help breathe quite a bit. Evan Mikkonen, do you think an Airsoft team should all have the same loadout? I'm going to answer this one first.
Go for it.
No, I don't think they have to, but that is generally up to the team themselves. There are a lot of teams that do require you to have the same loadout, and that's just how their team is based. Yeah. I think necessarily for a team to be considered a team, they should generally have similar wardrobe or a similar team uniform. That's what I've always seen, is that a full-on Airsoft team will generally pick a uniform that they all agree with and they will all wear.
Not just play carriers. I think I personally think if you guys are running the same thing, I think it's a little over excessive. But like Bob said, having similar colors is probably one of the best ways to identify your team. That way people know who you are too. So
yeah, so generally, same color pants, same color BDUs, or just like all agree on, like, let's say tan pants and green BDUs. Or like Team Therapist does, they have, I believe, naval camo bottoms and then t-shirt tops. They have Team Therapist tops, so that's what they wear.
Or they go by far and do the craziest things with like.
Yeah, at previous Tim vs. Bob events, they basically at Tim vs. Bob 2. They decided that they were going to pick a letter of the alphabet and they were going to have costumes based on that name. So the first time they came out, they were Mormon missionaries, so they're all dressed up as that with their elder name tags, and they're all toting heavy weapons, which is really great to see. At the next Tim vs. Bob, they were Mexicans, so they all actually had sombreros, They all also had ponchos, rainbow-colored ponchos, as well as beards and mustaches glued to their face masks. And again, we're toting heavy weapons. At Tim vs. Bob 4, they were dressed up as minions from the movie Despicable Me. So they all had overalls and yellow shirts, including one purple minion, which is pretty impressive.
That's how you play Airsoft.
And again, they were toting heavy weapons.
Have fun.
Yes.
That's how you have fun.
Yes. They were definitely out there to have a good gall darn time. All right, next up, shout out. I am Koopa, Bob. Bob, this is Cooper requesting shout out Danger Close. How do you copy? All right, shout out incoming. Respond. Shout out approved. Boom. All right. Do we have any more questions? Oh, thank you, Daniel.
Daniel-san, thank you.
All right, Sean Straka. I ask Bob, is there any rhyme or reason to buy a GBB pistol over a non-GB pistol besides for making it seem more real? Yes, I would say that there is a reason to buy a gas blowback pistol gas blowback pistol. Oh man, I'm really
gas blowback pistol
over a non-gas blowback pistol. In my experience, and you know, I haven't seen too many non-gas blowback pistols on the field regularly, but in my experience, gas blowback pistols are generally more upgradable. They're more reliable, in my opinion, even though they have more moving parts. I generally don't see them go down or malfunction as much. Unless you're talking about, let's say, you know, Wii pistols, which, you know, can go here or there sometimes.
Yeah, but like any other airsoft, any part, not just airsoft, it can be cars, computers, anything moving part will break over time. So there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
So
now I will say though that non-gas blowback pistols, certain ones can have a higher feet per second and are quieter because of the lack of blowback.
Yes.
But you know, I'm sure you already figured out that, you know, I like gas blowback pistols because it seems more real, feels more awesome. But generally, I've seen that they perform quite a bit better and more accurately. Now, that's not to say that there are exceptions, but that is what I've seen over 15 years of playing Airsoft. So,
wow.
What do you think about that?
I personally, your opinions are probably one of the most 8%, 9% right. It's true. I prefer gas blowback pistols. Why? Because I just like the realism as when it feels and stuff. So
well, that's what he's saying. He says besides making it seem more
besides, but that's I'm just trying to go. Reliability wise, I like it better too. So that way, say something goes wrong in the gun, it's easier to take apart. You know, you can see where the component, what went wrong, and it's easy. It's also easy to lubricate too. On a non-gas blowback pistol, you have to disassemble it just to get to the hopper chamber, just get to the barrel. And replace it, so it's a little kind of hassle. That's why I prefer the gas blowback over the non-gas blowback one. So
it seems like we both settled on the fact that non-gas blowback pistols are not as user-friendly.
But they're not good. We're not saying they're not bad guns.
No, they're effective. They can be effective.
That's basically it's all on personal preference. Right?
Yeah. All right. Hold on. I saw one up here. Brian Yang. Can I get a shout out? My birthday is tomorrow. Brian Yang. Shout out approved.
Oh.
Shout out approved. And happy birthday. All right, we got it. All right, Lucian Truscott. That's a badass name. Let Mark know that I really enjoyed seeing him, Daniel, and Josh at the airport in Richmond. Hey, Mark. This guy, Lucian Truscott, actually really enjoyed seeing you at the airport in Richmond.
Yeah, I remember that guy. He's a really cool kid. So, yeah, Lucian Truscott. Hope to see you at Opera 3 if you end up going again. So,
yeah,
you meet him,
I just want to let you know.
I understand.
Yeah.
If you meet him, please say hi to me at Upright 3. So, just in case I don't make it. He's a cool kid, so.
I will. All right. That's cool. That's nice you met him.
Yeah. I was surprised. I was like, he's like, Daniel, Joshua. I was like, whoa.
And more.
Whoa. Anyway.
You want to read that one out?
New product related question.
Didn't have to read that part.
Zontars, I believe. Forgive me if I said that. How effective do you think the new black multicam will be in darker urban environments like GamePod? Bob, since you have more experience with camouflage and I see you're excited, please feel free to answer this question.
Very good question. I was actually thinking about possibly, maybe not possibly, but thinking about running a black multicam at GamePod. And we actually have a product from that. This is the, I believe this is the contractor cap. I don't have it. Yeah, True Spec contractor cap in black multicam. Now, what's really cool about that is obviously it's a new camo. Black multicam, in my opinion, looks pretty cool. And what's interesting about that is that generally, if you wear black in a dark environment, you can actually be spotted because it will actually not mix as well with the environment around you because I don't want to say you're darker than it, but it just doesn't mix as well. So folks have found that wearing a multicam in a dark wooded environment actually works better than just wearing black. So to combine that, to have black multicam in a specifically night shaded multicam is, in my opinion, probably going to be vastly more effective. Now the cool thing about GamePod is that they can turn on all the lights, they can turn on off some lights, they can turn off all the lights. So I would say using black multicam at GamePod would probably be way more effective than either using multicam or just black camouflage. So, obviously this is a combination of the two. I hope I get to use something like this at GamePod sometime in the future, but I would honestly swear by the fact that this would be more effective. And that's that on my head.
Double the shade. Anyway, these are available just on Chaz. We have them BDUs as well, so they should be ready on our website, our new products page. Check it out.
Those are actually up, as well as the tops and bottoms for black multicam. So if you guys have been waiting for this camo to come out like I have, it is now available on airsoftgi.com for your perusal and purchase. So make sure to take a look at that before it goes out of stock, because we've actually been seeing a run on them. So if you know you want it, make sure to go on our website today or as soon as possible to get it before it runs out. Bear Dog, can we see the Masada behind Bob? Last time asking, please don't ban. You want to grab that, Mark?
I would, but first we do that. How do you guys like the design of the grid behind us? The little change here. So the Bob site liked it. So
you're not going to see it for a while because we're on delay. But all right, so I believe the gun Mark is grabbing is what I like to call my boss's gun. This is Daniel's gun. Correct?
Daniel's gun, and Daniel and I have done a lot of tuning to this. I personally have tuned this myself. So there's one time the contacts fused together, and Daniel was ripping this thing at like 40 plus rounds a second at SC, which we couldn't stop firing.
You guys and your high rate of fire.
It wasn't. We weren't intended. We were just tuning this thing up. Actually, before I started working here, this is when I was tuning this. The contacts of the microswitch fused together because we were using a higher output battery, and then we couldn't. We let go of the trigger, yet the gun was still firing, and we just unplugged the batteries. Or not me, not we, but Daniel. So, but the fact is, it did not break during that like 10 to 20 seconds of 40 rounds a second, just continuously. It just couldn't break. So this is the Maple PTS Masada, not the ANK one. So, Daniel, I'm really, if you're watching, I know you're watching this. If you are seeing this, I'm surprised that this gun's the last song.
Yeah.
Kiss the tip.
I'm awake. I'm not going to do that. Actually, David Schmeier made a really good point, and I'm actually feeling stupid right now. I didn't say this. But he's right. What about trigger pull? That's the main benefit of gas blowbacks. And you're absolutely correct. The difference between non-gas blowbacks and gas blowbacks, the vast majority of the non-gas blowback pistols I have seen do have a very long trigger pull. Whereas on gas blowbacks, the second you pull that trigger, that round is going down range. So that is a huge added benefit, and I'm embarrassed I forgot about that. So very good call, David Schmeier. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Daniel has used that gun at Operation Reclamation 2, right?
No.
Oh, that's too bad.
Daniel used his DMR. My scar broke Outbreak too, so I used Daniel's lightweight M4, which is pretty cool. I don't think he uses there. But
well, one good thing I wanted to bring up is the fact that Daniel and you both use the tactical universal clip quite a bit, and that's what this mount is right here. I believe you guys both have the tactical universal clip right here on the right side of your body armor.
We do.
Just for ease of use. So if you guys haven't seen this, this is available on airsoftgi.com. We call it the TUC, or Tactical Universal Clip. They are redesigning it, I believe, for a newer version, but the one that we have works just fine and dandy. It is a bit on the pricier side, but it is very, very functional.
Very worth it.
So yeah, you and Daniel definitely love the heck out of those.
One thing I'd like to mention, if you noticed here, the one we carry is for the those with buffer tubes. We're gonna try to get in some more of these. These basically wrap around full stock. It's just some Velcro and the TUC attached right here. Basically, you can attach it like I have it on my SCAR or DMR stock for the full stocks, or what are the full stocks out there?
Don't know.
Anyway, but let's go on.
All right. So actually, this gun was used at the Rebel training. You can put it away. Was used at the Rebel training camp in GamePod, or at GamePod in Antioch, California, by Daniel very recently. Okay, so we already went over the Magpul Black. So we actually have these Emerson dual magazine pouches, which are pretty cool. I only have single versions of this, and they come in a variety of different camo schemes. But this is Desert Digital. Now, what's really cool about that, these allow you to access your magazines much more quickly than if you were in a pouch. You basically would just pull them forward a little bit and out, and it's also, in my opinion, looks pretty darn cool. So, do you have any...
Factor.
Coolness is always a factor in Airsoft, at least in my opinion. But the ability to reload your magazine, reload your gun a lot faster is a definite plus in my book. Mark, do you have any opinions on these magazines? Magazine pouches?
I personally haven't used those yet, but the way it's designed, I think it's much more efficient compared to the like Cordura pouches. But the Cordura pouch is not bad. But it's the way it's a simple, quick insert. So this is also good for speed shooting and stuff for those who do that. And I think you can fit like
two.
You can fit 2 M4 mags, but I think you fit 2 straight MP5 mags. I'm not sure on that, but
we'd have to test that out.
Yeah, test that out. But I know these are really good if it comes to high-speed reloading and stuff. So great product.
One thing I've learned that is worth mentioning about these is I've seen actually folks set these up upside down so that like they'll wear them on their person right here. Then when they're ready to reload a mag, it's really just pulled out and back into the gun. So it is really fast if you set up and practice with these. So these are really great. I believe we also sell them in singles, but the doubles are just new on the market. So these are pretty awesome. Highly suggest taking a look at these.
And they're real different colors. So.
Yeah, we have a variety of different colors, including some in similar camo schemes to Highlander, Cryptek. So yeah, those are available in that. I generally actually run those magazine pouches on battle belts when I want to do, you know, a minimalist rig. I'll just have a couple of those on a battle belt because I have a few that hold pistols as pistol magazines as well. All right, let's see. Hopefully Daniel will have some more questions for us, but we will move on to the next piece of kit.
You want to talk about...
I want to talk about this one. In fact, Mark, why don't you pull this one out while I work on the next one.
Guns everywhere, guns galore. I think I went too far on that one.
Yes, you did. All right. So, Mark is going to go over a new gun that we're going to have on our website very soon.
Oh, am I?
Yes, you are.
Alright, so I know what you guys are thinking, another M4. Now, don't get that wrong. Okay. This M4 is sort of like a pre-upgraded M4 out there. Where's the sheet? Okay. What I noticed about this M4, I took it apart, it has some pre-upgraded internal components. Such as 9mm bearing gearbox, it does, and one-piece metal hopping. I'm pretty standard. Ooh, increased screen tension. That the parts inside comes with a steel torque gear set and high torque motor. So on semi, you do get a great trigger response. It's very instantaneous. You do get low resistance wirings. No fuse, so you don't have to worry about that. It's always continuous power running from the battery through the motor, through the gun and stuff. Also, you get reinforced pistons, ported, I believe, aluminum piston head. I believe you get a Type R barrel as well on this. So this is a sort of like a pre-upgraded gearbox, like I said before. However, for the price, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't have the price in here. I actually could not find the price before it came in here. This is the Apex M4, correct?
No, this is the Classic Army.
Okay, I was going to say, the box was way off from what I was expecting.
Yeah, this is the Classic Army SVM4. So, I believe so. But for the price, I believe it's around $200.
Yeah, let's check it right now.
Let's see.
Now, Classic Army was out of the market for quite a while, but they came back out swinging recently. They've been releasing a lot of pre-upgraded guns recently, and this is in their lineup, and it's available on our website already. Now, what's cool about that is, like Mark said, you know, you get a lot of internals that are pre-upgraded, and the fact you also have a Type R barrel pre-installed is a definite advantage in my opinion. That's something that I would want to do on my airsoft guns anyway, and I don't have to pay a tech to do it. Costs more money. But the fact that it's pre-installed is going to save you money over the long run. And this gun shoots just under 400 feet per second at 390 feet per second, making it ideal for outdoor airsoft gameplay.
Indeed.
So yeah, we've got, actually on our website, we've got a full list of stuff that is included. Do you want to read that off, Mark?
Okay, so standard full metal upper and lower receivers, pre-upgrade 9mm gearbox with a quick spring change system. The functional bolt catch, the cylinder head is going to be a bore-up style, so better airflow. Torque up gear set, torque gear set, torque up motor. Low resistance wiring, so better conductivity, higher conductivity, better flow electricity. Bob said pre-installed 603 Type R barrel, and we got the pretty cool Colt trademarks. Yeah. I always like trademarks, so trademarks are sort of a big deal for me. Even though not a lot of people see it, it's pretty cool to have.
I'm a big fan of trademarks. One, for the fact that it means the real firearm industry is getting more and more intertwined with the airsoft market. Also, makes the gun look cooler. And thirdly, if you are going to use these airsoft guns in any sort of movies, films, or otherwise film things, having those trademarks is going to make it look a lot cooler and more realistic on camera. That's just coming from my acting perspective. So yeah, this is coming out to the market. Can you actually grab the price real quick so we can tell our...
This was going for $270. So
all right, $270 available on airsoftgi.com. You cannot use coupon codes with this, but that's because it's mapped. But you can add Burst Wizard functionality.
Woo, Burst.
But again, keep in mind this gun is pre-upgraded with quite a bit of stuff.
So I don't think this whole thing will break anytime soon. I think
Nope.
you put a lot of stress through this, and you get the performance factor, you get reliability factor, and standard carbine length, so you get close to mid-range engagements. You might even hit farther if there's no wind. So it's pretty good out of the box.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to the next gun. And in fact, this this isn't really a next gun. This is more of a package deal. We've had a lot of package deals going on our website for the KWA CQR recently, both the Mod 1 and the Mod 2. The Mod 2 is the much shorter barrel, better for CQB. But basically, the CQR is designed from the ground up for CQB. And Mark, would you do me a favor and pull this out of the package? So the CQR is designed from the ground up by KWA to function in a CQB environment better than a lot of other guns would. So right out of the box, they are going to be shooting below 350, which is what you want for a CQB gun. Okay, so this is the Mod 2. Now, what's great about this is that it has a nylon fiber lower frame, and what's great about that, it's going to be durable. It's also going to cut down on some of the weight as well as some of the cost. Now, this gun also has a pretty respectable rate of fire right out of the box, and our package deals online...
Excuse you.
Thank you, I didn't burp yet. But our package deals online are rather varied. For a while we had the CQR and gun bag. For a while we had the CQR and the tri-shot shotgun, which was a really good deal in my opinion because I love those shotguns. But right now we have a special going on where you can get the CQR and you can get 2 extra KWA mid-capacity mags, which is a great deal.
2 extra, okay? So
you're going to get 1 with a gun, and you're going to get 2 extra, so you have 3 mid-capacity mags right out of the box. So that deal with the 3 mags is on our website, and I believe it goes for around $200. Yes. Can you check for that real quick?
I believe it's 2.
Yes. But more importantly, while Mark checks that up, there's actually a deal going on right now. Doesn't go back up. Okay, so the three magazine package for the CQR is available for $199.99, so essentially $200. But even better than that...
Hold on, sorry, to interrupt. The CQR alone is $200.
No,
so
no.
The CQR,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes,
no,
yes. Okay, let's
no.
go on.
Go look it up. Go look it up. Look it up, Mark. Look it up. Look it up.
Last time I saw it was $200. Where is it? It's not even on the website.
It's taking so long. Okay, $189.95. That is not $200.
Okay,
Boom, gotcha.
But you still, for $5 more, you get 2 extra magazines.
That's extra $10 more.
Or $10 more.
Your math is awful today, Mark. Good Lord.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Oh, buddy. Okay, so $189.95 for CQR. For $10 extra, you can get 2 mid-capacity magazines from KWA. No coughing, Mark. No coughing. So you get 2 mid-capacity magazines with the KWA CQR with that $200 deal. But you spend $15 more on top of that, and you're going to get a ridiculous deal. I saw this on our website last night, and I was honestly, I thought it was a mistake, but I'm glad it's not because it's a really good deal. So for this new KWA CQR package, you can get either the Mod 1 or the Mod 2, and you're going to get 7 magazines total. You're going to get 4 D-Boys high-capacity magazines with the gun. You are going to get the 2 mid-capacity actually 1 mid-cap with the gun and the 2 extra KWA mid-cap, so for a total of 7 magazines. And in addition to that, you are going to get Griffin Golem chest rig. I haven't taken it out of the package, but I'm going to put it closer. If you guys haven't seen the Griffin Golem chest rig, it's essentially a chest rig that has 3 dual M4 magazine pouches sewn into the front. It also has MOLLE on the left and right side, and you can actually open up the entire chest rig and put stuff inside of it. And the shoulder straps are much wider, which on affordable chest rigs, you generally see the small straps or the thin straps, which can dig into your shoulders quite a bit. So the fact that the shoulder straps on this are wider is a huge selling point in my opinion. And in fact, when we first got these, I tested them out, and I became such a believer in them that I took this setup to Irene. I took actually the OD rig with I actually had the Dragon Spine belt system right here. I took both of these to Irene and rocked and rolled and had no problem whatsoever. And the cool thing is that the Golem chest rig is $15. The Dragon Spine belt system, where you get essentially a belt as well as 2 dual M4 mag pouches and a dump pouch, that's $15 as well. So you're getting the Griffin Golem chest rig, the Dragon Spine belt system, 4 extra high-capacity magazines for only $15 more.
Was that 70, 80 bucks savings?
Yeah. So you just add an extra $15 on, you get a whole gear setup, you get 4 extra magazines. Yeah, someone just said it. Please take my money. So yeah, make sure to take advantage of that KWA CQR deal. Because that is a really awesome deal. In fact, probably one of the best deals we've had in a long time right now available. So, all right, let's answer a few questions here. You got that one?
All right, so we got a tech question.
That's Train.
All right, so we got a tech question here from Milsummer Vapor. Is it worth it to upgrade internal wires and switch to Deans?
Oh, that is your question. Yeah.
Okay, depending on what gun you have, actually, that was a dumb answer. It is always a good idea to upgrade your wire system and switch to Deans. Why? Because in standard gearboxes, there's going to be so much resistance in the wires, fuse, and contacts that you're just not getting enough power through the gun. So switching through a better wiring system, as well as switching the Deans that have less resistance, as well as better connection, since instead of running 2 pins, like to me it's a solid gold-plated metal slab. You get better connectivity, you also get better trigger response, and what I notice is better rate of fire as well. So on top of that, your wires will not heat up as much, especially if you shoot a lot on semi or if you do quick burst. Your wires and motor will heat up. With upgrading to new wiring systems such as Magic Box high connectivity wires and modified Deans, you'll get your whole system will run cooler and much more efficiently. Excuse me. You might even save more battery life while still maintaining a higher performance. So that's that.
All right, I actually want to answer one question. Go up a little bit. Can't find. I think I remembered it. Oh yeah, the Nefabe. Hey Bob, are you coming to SS Airsoft or not on Saturday? You said maybe on Facebook. All right, well, I'd actually change that maybe to a no. I couldn't find an affordable flight out there in time, so I am going to be doing something else with this next weekend, sadly. The folks at SS Airsoft are great people. I went out there almost a year ago. They treated me with absolute respect and incredible hilarity. I love the guys out there. It's a great field. A lot of my friends are going to be out there this next weekend. I hope you guys have a great time, and I hope SS Airsoft has a great, great anniversary. Let's get to some of these other questions. Tanner Western, what gloves are better, Condor, G-Force, Pig, or Mechanics? I'm going to throw this out there first. It's hard to say like which gloves are substantially better. I mean, there are a lot of different gloves on the market that fulfill a lot of different roles. For me, I personally prefer Mechanics because they make these gloves called the Mechanics Impact 2012s that have the right mix of both, I guess, rubberized protection as well as dexterity. You know, they're very comfortable to wear. They're also very protective, whereas they give basically a really good combination of protection and dexterity. I'm able to manipulate what I'm working on pretty well, even with a full-fingered glove, and I'm also able to be very protected when I'm going into those doors. What are your opinions on gloves?
All right, start off. Condor makes great affordable products. I still currently run mine from 2000.
Your Condor gloves.
Condor gloves, the hard knuckle tan ones.
Oh yeah.
Those are good. I've never heard of G-Force, but I'll do research on that. Pig gloves are great when shooting. You want more sensitivity, especially shooting real firearm stuff. So those are good. Mechanics, I don't use them for airsoft. I usually tend to use those when I work on my car or whatnot. So they have a lot of protection, so I don't burn my hands, as well as the movement. There's no clutter or anything like that. So each glove, it has its pros to each type of aspect. So it's all basically on the personal preference. So.
I just want to say something to the comments. I can't marry everybody. So if you're asking me to marry you, I can't marry everybody. Damn. Okay. I actually pulled the Griffin Golem chest rig out because I want to show you what you would get with this CQR package. And like I mentioned before, you know, the shoulder straps are wider. That is going to distribute the weight that you're wearing on this chest rig a lot better. It's also not going to dig into your shoulders as much. And it's really funny because at some of the events I've been going to recently, I have people come up to me and pull me to the side and be like, all right, look, Bob, you know, you mentioned a lot of stuff about the Miracle Barrel or about the Golem chest rig. Like, what do you actually think? And it's the crazy thing about working here is that I get to use, responding to a comment, I get to use a lot of the products here, and that allows me to more honestly tell you my feelings. And the fact that, I would hope that the fact that I took this to Operation Irene, which is at Fort Knox, a real military facility with pretty real explosions and real reenactors, I think that would tell you enough that I believe in this chest rig enough to take it to that facility, because honestly, that weekend, this rig performed beautifully. Like, I was carrying a lot of stuff that weekend. I had full loads of mags in these. I was actually rocking AK mags in here, and I was able to fit 2 mags apiece in each of these pouches. And I also had, since there's molly space on the side, I had extra pouches on either side. I also had a knife. I also had Big League Chew in here. I had some, let's see, I also had some beef jerky, and I had a map. There's a lot of room inside here. In fact, I mean, probably put a cat in here if you really wanted to. But anyway, there's a lot of room in here. This is a really good deal for a chest rig, especially if you can't afford a lot, but you want to get a full loadout. So with that CQR deal, you'll get this and the Dragon Spine belt system, which has a dump pouch and extra magazine pouches. So a really good deal. What are some other questions?
All right, so real quick, Bob and I are going to try to answer them really quick. We're not going to go too detailed about these questions, so we have a lot of questions. So coming from Daniel, Bravo Airsoft 0202, which do you guys like better, KWA gas blow-up rifle or the FMG4 series? Both are great guns, in my opinion. Those are two different types of guns. I prefer my LM4, KW LM4 Y for realism for more milsim games. I love the FMG4 when it comes to field games, SC or normal field games. So they both have its pros and cons.
Yeah, I got an answer too, man.
Go for it.
Now, Mark is right. Like, those are two vastly different sets of guns. One are gas blow rifles, and the other are, you know, really awesome AEGs. If I had to go with an AEG, I'd probably get an FMG4 because it's a full metal G4, and G4s are great guns, and getting one full metal is what I would prefer. Now, if I was going to go gas blowback rifles, I wouldn't go with anyone but KWA. I love my I love my KWA LM4 so much so that I just posted an article on airsoftya.com called "My Favorite Gas Blowback Rifle." So make sure to check that out. I have the pros and cons as well as my reasons for loving the heck out of my KWA LM4. Next question.
Bob, this is a question for you from Colin C. Music.
Hey, Colin C. Music, what's up?
What kind of batteries do you prefer, and where do you buy it?
Well, that's easy to say. I buy it on airsoftya.com. Now, batteries do I prefer? I actually have a 7.6 LiPo. I think it's 1600 mil. 7%. Thank you. I was blanking on that. I have run 11.1 LiPos before. I'm honestly new to the LiPo game as of a couple years ago. Now, a lot of the folks in my department, specifically Mark, have a lot more LiPo batteries than I do, so sometimes I borrow batteries from them. But personally owned ones, I have a 7.4 volt, I think it's 1600 milliamp.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember what batteries you have. You use a lot.
Yeah. So that's what I use, but I generally also do borrow 11.1s from my buddies here. The thing is, I generally run gas blowbacks anyway, so I don't use LiPo batteries that often. But they are pretty awesome, so I am getting more into using them. They're also a heck of a lot less bulky than the old nickel cadmiums or nickel metal hydrides.
Okay. Before we answer more questions from Daniel, there's one last thing I promised I'd show you guys from Instagram and Twitter and stuff. Is we got these. These are the Apex. Bob is smiling. We got the Apex Airsoft M4s. This is one of the 5. I'm not gonna bring out all 5, but they're coming in different length rail systems as well as different barrel lengths. One's 14 center carbine length, the CQB length at 10-inch, and the really shorty length at 7-inch. So Apex similar. It has the ambidextrous feature, so if you're left-handed, it's pretty good. Excuse me. It does have low resistance wirings, no more fuse, so straight power going from the battery. You get a high torque motor, torque just at 9mm bearings, and you get this pneumatic blowback system. The way it works is it rides off the piston, so you get a better click, better response from the blowback feature. So that's pretty cool. Bob, opinions?
I think it. First of all, I think it looks really good, and from actually holding it, this is an incredibly solid gun. I really like having a solid gun because I have had guns in the past that you can actually hold them on the table, wiggle them, and the body will just contort. And that can, well, it basically just lets me know that I'm probably going to break that gun sometime in the future. So the fact that this gun is solid right off the back is a really good sign for me. I really like the rail setup. I really like the quick detach rail mounts or quick detach sling mounts that you can add in right up here, and the rail mount on this gas block. So really cool gun. The one thing above all that I really like and am worried about is the fact that this trademark, if you guys, let's see if we can see that. Okay, it's got a trademark on it that actually reminds me of a hobby I play. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but it looks really cool, and I think it's awesome on a gun like this.
Speaking of trademarks, Uno Mas.
Where is it? Oh yeah! All right. Okay, so really cool looking gun, very solid gun, internally built pretty well, and pneumatic blowback, and I always like blowback, so that's really good.
Last thing before as we set this aside, I want to mention that the upper and lower series are made of a strong aluminum, as well as some of these guns will come with a TD Tango Down style short vertical grip, as well as 2 rail covers. All guns will come with 2 rail covers and a vertical grip, but depends on which type you get. So that's a pretty cool feature. And
okay, moving on. Moving on, Mark.
Moving on. Yes.
Okay, if I had $200 to buy any gun, what would it be? That's legit Prodigy X. $200. That's a good point. Yeah, no, it depends. Like, if you want to go AEGs, I think, like, your best bet would probably be a CQR because it's right in that sub 350 feet per second range. If you're going for gas blowbacks, the KMP9 is priced reasonably around $200. But if, you're getting an Airsoft, or you want a gun for CQB, or you just want, something that looks like an M4, then you'd want to get a CQR. That is a KMP9. Stock, those I believe are around $200. It might be a little bit above. But the CQR comes in at just under $200, and if you use our package deals, you can actually get extra stuff on top of that. Pretty awesome.
Indeed.
All right, Bob or Mark, I'm looking for a new rail system for my LM4. I was looking at the Troy Battle Rail. Any other recommendations?
Do you want me to go first?
Yes.
I personally have the Troy rail on my gun. Why? Because I don't have anything else on it but a flashlight. So I like having not rail, so when I manipulate my rifle, I can have better control of the recoil. Even though there's slight recoil, it's also allows me to transfer the way I hold my rifle compared as when I transfer over to a real firearm. So it's the same process as well. It's a good training rifle the way I have it all set up.
I'm actually going to have to agree with Mark on that one. My stock LM4 right now still has the Magpul furniture on it, or Magpul PTS furniture. I'm sort of debating whether or not to go to rail or what rail to go to myself. And Mark's setup is pretty cool. Mark, can you go back there because we have some more questions to get to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Now, Peter Yankovic or Peter Jankovic, sorry if I screwed that up. Can I get a shout out? Airsoft Team Contra from Serbia. It is 2 a.m. here. Wow. Well, thank you for tuning in. Shout out approved. Contra. Awesome. I hope that's similar to the video game, which I'm thinking of. All right. What's a good rigger's belt or pistol belt to add to a drop leg and dump pouch? Now, let me check out airsoftgi.com because I actually recently got to use some belts like this.
The Condor one, right?
Yeah, if it's the same one. Okay.
Yeah, rigger's belt. No.
No, I'm thinking of a different one.
Cobra belt?
There it is. Okay, so a rigger's belt will work pretty well because, obviously it's very thick and it's very sturdy. The only thing about it, though, is that the belt itself is pretty heavy, and that's why I prefer not to use them as much anymore. So yeah, a rigger's belt will work, but again, kind of heavy. One thing I've tried out recently, which worked pretty well and is incredibly lightweight, is the Condor Outdoor BDU belt. Now, because it is not as, I guess, how may I say this? not supported, but I guess reinforced as the rigger's belt is. You know, it may bend or move down a little bit if you attach it to a drop leg pouch or a pistol, but it will work, and it also is very lightweight, and that's what I appreciate about it. Also, the rigger's belt is kind of big, and sometimes when you lean over, it can kind of be annoying. It pinches, and that's the thing about this Condor BDU belt that I like the most is it doesn't do that.
It's also TSA approved, so if you're like Bob and I that travel from here to Virginia or X-Zone, wherever we're going to play, you don't have to go through TSI, take out your belt and whatnot. You just simply walk through. It's all plastic, no metal inside the belt whatsoever. So that's
it's nylon and polymer, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really good.
Yeah, so check out the Condor Outdoor BDU belt. That's our suggestion right now.
Available in black, tan, and OD at airsoft.com.
How many?
Oh, sorry.
The new Bold View. How many new custom guns do you predict are coming out this year? I really want a more CQB GI custom. You know, I don't want to predict how many are coming out, but we did just have a live show 2 weeks ago where the techs brought in, shoot, I think they had like 10 different custom guns that came out within like 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, that was fast.
It was really fast. They're working.
They're good.
Super hardcore on that. So I'm super serial.
Serial sounds good right now too. Cocoa Pebbles.
There's some in the backpack right over there.
Okay. Cool.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay. So yeah, I don't want to like give an unrealistic estimate. I would say, you know, there's probably like 10 new custom guns coming out this month, but that's honestly a guess that probably the tech department's going to get mad at me for. So I'm not going to say anything else because Aaron is a very large gentleman with some pretty awesome 40K tattoos, and I do not want to upset that fellow.
Well, except in general, you're kind of screwed.
Pretty much. Yeah, but our tech department is world class, so I have no doubt that they are watching this and listening to your concerns about wanting more CQB GI custom. So I'm sure we'll come out with those. Honestly, we had some CQR customs, but most of those sold out pretty quickly. So we'll probably be getting more of those out. Again, that is just a guess. Hopefully, we'll have some more hard information for you soon. All right. What other questions?
Oh, what the heck? Where did it go?
Okay. Jake Frisbee, what would be a good first airsoft gun? All right. Well, Mark, you're going to chime in on this in a second, I hope. But a good first airsoft gun, it would depend on your price. If you have $100, a good first airsoft gun is going to be a Lancer Tactical, either the AK or the M4. Now, if you have $200, a great first airsoft gun is either going to be a G4 or a KWA CQR because it's going to perform better on the battlefield, the airsoft battlefield. It's going to be your purchase is going to be much longer because it's going to last a lot longer because of how well it's built. And also, you're probably going to have more fun with it because it is a much sturdier gun. Now, the thing about the Lancer Tactical, as opposed to those other guns I mentioned, is that all these guns are competitive on the field. They're all skirmish ready. You're going to be able to go out there and have a good time, as opposed to if you spent $50 or $80 on a spring airsoft rifle, you're probably not going to have that good a time because you're going to be firing, cocking, firing, cocking, firing, cocking.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bit rough. So yeah, it's much better to either start with a Lancer Tactical at $100 or go to a CQR or a G4 or an FMG4 at around the $200 mark. There are also combat machines, but those are kind of the middle of the ground. I would highly suggest either the G4, the FMG4, or the KWA CQR. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I completely agree with your analysis of good first airsoft guns. All depends on your budget. Lancer Tactical for $100, bumping up to G4, CQRs, FMG4s. If you want to go gas blowbacks, LM4s, VFC is also great too. So it also depends on your budget. But you pretty much covered pretty much what I want to say. So.
Ben Zwiener or Ben Zwiner, forgive me if I said that incorrectly. My birthday is on April 3rd. Can I have a shout out? Yes, Ben. Shout out approved. Happy birthday, Mark. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, man. Okay. Alrighty. So, let's see if we have any other questions. I believe we've gone over everything we need to talk about.
One guy asked me here, am I a tech here at GI? I am currently not a tech here. I am the marketing assistant here, so I usually do social media here. So if you guys want to talk to me on Facebook, I usually don't reply to that. So. Mark
does have a lot of experience teching, though, so that's why we do ask him questions.
I believe I was told I was a very liable asset to his company.
Not liable, you mean reliable?
Reliable, sorry.
Reliable?
Reliable asset, or something like that. I can't remember what the reliable asset. So I know I was supposed to work for Frank, head tech Frank back when he was at tech over there. But I started working for Daniel, and then Tim pulled me here. So it's like I could be at 3 places at once if I had a cloning machine. But my skills are not the greatest. But knowing that I have the ability to do each one is very. It feels really good inside of me to know that. So
nice, Mark.
So being with these amazing coworkers, by the way, is always a good plus.
Good recover. Really quickly, how tall are you, Mark?
I don't know. I think like 5'6".
Okay. I am 6 foot even. Someone's asking how tall we were.
Yeah, I'm Asian. I'm short.
Oh, stop it. Another thing is we do have a tournament going on the East Coast. It's at Tactical Response Unleashed. If you guys aren't familiar with TRUE, which is the acronym, Tactical Response Unleashed, it's an East Coast indoor airsoft field that is just very close to our East Coast walk-in store in Chesterfield, Virginia. Now, we've actually worked with them to change their field around so it's much better for indoor airsoft, because originally they were a law enforcement training facility as well as a hand-to-hand combat training facility. They've moved a lot more towards the indoor airsoft community because they've realized there's a viable market there, and, you know, everybody loves money. But that said, you know, we've had the opportunity to play there a variety of times, and I got to tell you, if you're going to play at TRUE, what's really great about it is that grenades and airsoft shotguns are very effective because it is very close quarters, which means, you know, those grenade kills are going to be handy, or grenades are handy to get those kills, and also those shotguns with that spread and that immediate trigger response are very, very useful. But we are going to be having an East Coast tournament there at Tactical Response Unleashed. Check out the tickets. They're available on airsoftgi.com. I believe you can type in TRU, or you can type in Tactical Response Unleashed, and you can check out those game tickets. It's pretty awesome. The facility there is run by law enforcement gentlemen, and it's just a great facility in general. All right, and I believe the tickets are now $25, and you can buy them for singles. That is, you can buy them for one person a piece now.
Yes, singles $25, like Bob said, and if you want. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, do we have any more questions? Let's go back to the thingy.
Hi, Airsoft
Area X.
Please say hi to me.
Hi. Scene. All right.
Yes, Dr. Day.
Dr. Day. Geez, I'm taller than those guys. Always seem taller on TV, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, not that tall. So.
You guys should go to a KC game and tell how it was. KC game. I don't know what those are.
Kentucky?
That would usually be KY though, because that's the acronym for the state. Huh.
KFC?
Alrighty. Now let's see. Yes, Daniel does have the hardest job. The spam is unbelievable. Bob.
Oh, go. Sorry.
Bob, you have been using your KWA KMP9 for years now. Please explain why you personally like the MP9 more than any other gas blowback SMG like the MP7. All right, now I have a couple reasons. First of all, the KMP9 is more affordable. Second of all, the KMP9 was in Counter-Strike, which is why...
Oh, yeah, it's an old game.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
So I really do like that. Now, another thing about the MP9 I really do like is the fact that... the fact that it does have a really high rate of fire, which the MP7 does as well, but the weight for the MP9 is concentrated mostly around the pistol grip because, well, the mag... Oh, Kansas City. Thank you, Tanner Western. Sorry about that. Now, the weight on the MP9 is concentrated mostly around the pistol grip, which is really great, especially if you're like me and you're going to use a melee weapon or another weapon in your other hand, your offhand. What I usually do is I fold out the stock, I shoulder it, and I can basically move and transition between targets really quickly and really easily because the weight on the gun is centered so well. Now, on the MP7, the weight is mostly centered between the pistol grip and the front foregrip because the front of the gun is a little heavier. And overall, that gun is heavier and, again, more expensive. Also, the KMP9 holds more ammo in its magazines. Another plus. So yeah, there are a lot of pluses to it. Downside, the MP7 is used by real military units like Navy SEALs. Now, the MP9 is, I believe, used by other military units across the world, but it's not used by Navy SEAls. So MP7 certainly got that on it, which is pretty legit. The MP7 also looks pretty cool as well. But again, personal preference, I love the heck out of my MP9. It's also louder.
You like it loud. Anyway, that would be all for a live show today, Bob. Is that
I don't believe we have any more questions we can get to. We've actually gone a little bit over time, but I just want to thank you guys for stopping in. It looks like we have more than our normal audience, which is awesome.
Thank you guys. Thank
you. Thank you so much. It's so cute.
See you guys next Tuesday.
All right. Once again, I'm Bob the X-Man Hildebrand. This is
Mark. Just Mark.
Just Mark.
If you guys figure out name 3, message me on Facebook and let me know, and I'll look into it. Right?
I like this. Just Mark. Just Mark. All right. Anyway, once again, April 1st, 2014. Thank you for stopping in to our live show. I'm Bob the X-Man Hildebrand. This is Mark.
We'll see you guys next Tuesday.
That's right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.